For real, y'all. Taking you on another one, son. Julio Iglesias. Make it cream like that, nigga.
Yo, what's up, y'all? I got the legendary OG right here. Orko, let them know what time it is, Orko. You know what I'm saying? Let people know who you are, what crew you rep.
You know what I'm saying? BBoy Orko down since '82. You know what I mean? On the very first birth of B-Boy in the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? I was down with a local crew. All the essays, of course, you know what I mean, in the neighborhood. But everybody went to banging and they fell off. So the first official crew that I was down with was Shake City Rockers. This is before Little Caesar, before Air Force Crew, before anything, you know what I mean? We had Shake City, we had MCs, we had Graph One with the graffiti, we had Bugs, Angelo that he plays for the punk rock band, Fishbone. He was down, he's a popper, so Shake City was the actual hip hop movement for the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Ever since day one, I've been representing my heart out. They call me Orko because the first club that I ever went to was in the San Fernando Valley, and there was a lot of B-boys in the valley back then. The club was called Hot Tracks. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what, 12 years old? I would go out there with the ski mask, and I would put the hoodie up, bro, because I don't want nobody to, I was real shy. And if you see me now, I've never been one to like talk or be that dude, you know what I mean, on that light. All the real OGs in my day, and I see what Ken, like, we never like to talk. We just like, we do our business and we're just quiet. We're not that glamour, like, oh, you know, so I started that, Like, we were like, yo, we don't have to, like, you know what I mean?
On some real G.
On some real G. Real G's don't have to prove their shit, you know what I mean? So I'm not about that, you know what I mean? I'm about that real underground, raw, B-boy, SA, OG. You know what I mean? I'm not here for glamour.
It is.
That's not me. That's not where my heart is at. You know what I mean? I just dance for the love of it. I could care less about that. I told Caesar, I told everybody since back in the day, just do you, Hollywood will come knocking. You don't have to chase Hollywood. If your shit's correct, if your heart is in the right place, Hollywood has always come to me. Opportunities, because they see that passion, they see that energy, you know what I mean? You don't have to look for Hollywood. If your shit is tight, shit will come to you. Trust me, on a 100. And I've been very blessed to tour the world. After Shake City, these brothers also were a little older than me. They started going about their ways, started getting married or what have you. And then that's when I hooked up at the radio that Ice-T opened up. It became the Radiotron for the movie Breakin. Anybody and everybody anybody was there. I used to be a kid, Tony Basil used to be in the background watching me. Who's that lady? Because she's always with Taco, with Hugo, with Pete. She had like, everybody was there. And the dope thing about hip hop in the early days in the West Coast, and I even think in New York, that it was punk rockers and essays and brothers, and you know what I mean? Every nationality was there, but it was like half punk rock of a club, punk rockers, and then everything, it wasn't even called hip hop or anything. It was just like, we just did this thing, you know what I mean? And it was people that didn't fit in that box of life. It was people that just wanted to express themselves in the book. And
even Fable even said that though. In New York, it was like that in the early days. It was like a punk rock. Everybody went there. You know, it's just different groups, right? They come through at one place and just celebrate life. You know, so that's dope that the West Coast is doing that too.
You know, and it was a beautiful thing. That one of the most important things about this dance that when I got down, when everything from the San Fernando Valley moved to MacArthur Park in LA for the Radiotron, like I got down and I started getting props from people, you know what I mean? I started getting props from brothers and all these other nationalities that in my hood it was all Latino. You know what I mean? If anybody from another culture or nationality was in there, be down. Automatic, no questions asked. So for me, it was like, oh shit, nobody's fighting in here, bro. Everybody's fucking getting along.
Yeah, that's
I'm
good.
getting props, you know what I mean? And it broke that whole stereotype, because back in the early days, if you were black, you couldn't dance. Only brothers know how to groove. And I was like, fuck that shit. You know what I mean? And you know, you've experienced racism. I've experienced stereotypes or racism and shit. So we've had to earn our ground. You know what I mean? For many, many battles, and to represent who we are. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter, you know, who you are, where you come from. You know, if you got that passion, that love, that groove, you know what I mean? People will definitely back up and give you that respect. So after that, you know, we started off with the I started going to the Raidertron, and there was all these little kids there. That was kind of like a community center for broken down kids. Yo, kids were sleeping on the park bench, homeless, molested, getting beat at home, so they would just go to the Raider and just sleep on the parking lot or sleep on the bench.
Wow.
Yo, and I was only 12, and I used to see them as little kids. You know what I mean? Like, how old, were they? Because I was only a kid. I think that when everything started really snowballing with the movies and all that stuff, I was turning 14, 15 years old. But these kids were sleeping in the parking lot, in the benches, slanging weed. Some of them were prostituting themselves. It was like a really, but when that place opened up, it was an outlet for all of us. You know what I mean? All of us. So I started training with all these kids, one of them being Caesar, little Lewis, Patrick, we called him Airmaster. So these guys you never got to see. Patrick, Airmaster, little Lewis, also Kid Tough from the Dominoes.
Yeah.
These brothers were nasty on my level, on anybody else's level. Patrick used to do flare, 90 flare stop, and then go the other way. He had the sickest Supermans. Like, this kid had incredible power, control power, beautiful back, just like us. We were all beasts, you know what I mean? We were all ghetto kids. We had opportunities. One day, skateboarding and b-boying kind of started off at the same time. You know, BMXing and skateboarding. And I also came out in that movie Thrashing with Oz. He took me there. You see a little clip of us on Venice Beach, but you know what? They brought all these Pro-Tech helmets to us. Here, guys, you know, I guess to promote their shit or sell their product. But we were kids. We were like, all right, okay, thank you. Oh, shit, I can spend like a motherfucker with this, you know what I mean? And that's how the Australians got influenced. That's how the Japanese got influenced. That's how Storm and Demons got influenced, you know what I mean? We were the first one. Yeah, from that West Coast state. And so we all rode together as a crew. We started battling anybody that came into our house. You know, you come into our house, dude, you're gonna get stepped to by any one of us. We were deep, and then Oz comes in later. You know, Oz had been through it with a couple crews in LA, with the Rocking Wizards, he was down with them. There was another crew called BBoy All Stars, and then, but when he saw us, he was like, still, we were teaching Oz how to do moves, you know what I mean, like power moves. So I get frustrated when people say, Oz Rock brought breaking to the West Coast. Yeah, we're breaking like way before it even existed. But I mean, what Oz had at the beginning, he had that personality. He had that superstar entrance in the room. They were like, yo, who's that dude? You know what I mean? He had the look, he had that swag. He also was down in New York with Rocksteady. I think he was in the Up Rock video. And he learned from everybody. He learned from Dynamic, he learned from, you know what I mean? Because he's originally from Boston, I believe. So, I mean, when he saw our stuff, you know what I mean? It was like, we're on another level. That's it. We took it to another level. In the early days of b-boying, if you look at it now, it was just windmills. You know what I mean? Hex had maybe a turtle, a couple things, but we were the ones originally responsible to windmill, flare, 90, backspin, down, pop. You know what I mean? We're the ones that you see it. If you see early footages of b-boying in the East Coast, which that's where it started. God bless them. Nobody's saying anything, but I think we were the ones that were kind of now
innovative.
You know, it took it to another level. The next person I think that took it after that was Jazzy J from the Renegades, with this crazy shit. I know he was slow and lanky or whatever, but he was just doing, you know, took power to another level. So did Ruin. So you know what I mean? Those cats.
Exactly.
And it, you know, it's just
from there.
And and it keeps building. That's the evolution of it. You know what I mean? Right. To where it went. But we had a blessing from, you know, I thought it was just us in New York, and I heard little rumors of Hawaii. I heard that Hawaii, the hurricanes got made up, you know. I used to hear from Sugar Pop. He said, yo, you know, there's nasty b-boys in Hawaii and what have you back in the day. So Sugar Pop was kind of my plug with like what was going on in the scene around it. He's been with me since day one. Ice-T used to be down with us as a b-boy. He tried to lock, pop, break. Right. He lived with Oz Rock on Sunset and Gower in Hollywood. Right, you know, before when Colors took off, you know, he blew up and that's it. But he knows Shake City. He was down with us back in the day. So was Africa Islam. You know, I even heard rumors that Africa Islam approached Shake City. They wanted it to call them the original Zulu Kings. You know what I mean? And Shake City everybody was kind of started going their ways, you know, with the weed and this and that. But the first night I was in New York, we went to the Devil's Nest, and legs went down. I went down. Legs went down again. I went down again. And then legs went up to Bucky like, yo, who the fuck is this kid? Where'd you find this kid at? Yo, that's Orko, blah, blah, blah. You know, to me, Bucky and Foodie and Oz, we started doing shows in Vegas. We got offers, you know, contracts. We did a talk show. We filmed some stuff for the UK. I mean, we did Soul Train together. They picked us up in a white limousine. They're taking us everywhere, you know what I mean? And it was just a point in my life. I was blessed for them to fly me out to New York, you know what I mean, in '85, and it was just a different scene. The way that the swag with the bomber jackets, the shell toes, the knees, the jackets, like that whole swag. It wasn't in LA, you know what I mean? We didn't know of it. Unfortunately, the movies gave us a bad rap. Breakin with the fluorescent shit and freaking Shabadoo and fucking Boogaloo Shrimp spitting on his knee. Like, yo, there's some raw B-boys here, you know what I mean? Fuck that.
Word.
So it was I've always kept it like that. I go, all right, I did my stuff in the 80s. I did my stuff in the 90s. I went to the Marine Corps. I was a Special Forces Recon Marine. We trained with SEAL Team 6 in the PI. I did jump school, dive school, calling for air support. We did LURBs. And then I did close quarter combat, room clearing with black balaclava gear, MP5, lasers. I did a whole thing, right? Boom, got out the Marine Corps in September '92. It took a year to deprogram my military brain, because I used to think I could kill 3 or 4 people at the same time, no problem, hands down. Early '94, Caesar approaches me. Caesar's like, yo, Orko, I'm so glad I found you. Everybody's asking me, everybody's looking at you, I want to see you dance again. I go, dance what? It was Breakin. I go, Breakin? That shit's in. I thought that shit died. He goes, no, it's underground. It's all over the world now. All the practices at Radiotron, the show you did in Vegas, it got handed down from tape to tape, and now we're known everywhere. I was like, get the fuck out of here. He goes, yeah, look. So he showed me a magazine, Hype magazine from Australia, from the crew out there, and they had a little documentary on us, and I was like, they know us in Australia? Get the fuck out of here. So I freaking trimmed down because I was a little heavy with muscle weight. Trimmed down for about 6 months. 6 months later, we were doing shows in Osaka and Kobe, Japan, Sapporo, and that whole thing started up again. You know what I mean? And then I got my skills back. I was in my mid-20s. It was a little harder with the wife and working, but I did it. And then I went off to Jam on the Groove, and then Legs asked me to be down with Rocksteady again. You know what I mean? And I did it in the honor for Bucky and Cootie, who, when I stopped dancing in '86, I was in New York representing Rocksteady. It was me, Bucky, Cootie, and Ness. Munchkin, Spanky, the dudes from the Bronx, from 183rd and Cortona. Kenny and Legs weren't really that active back then. And I felt like when we went to many battles, skating rinks, we went out to Connecticut to battle B-boys. Like, they would go out, and then these other people would come back, and they're like, they would have me like held back like a pit bull. Get him, Orko, go get him, Orko. And I would come out there like, raw. The B-boy back then was raw. If you ever gave the cock to somebody like that, you're gonna get fucked up. You're gonna get beat up. Ain't no like this shit, bro. It was on like some gang shit, like, yo, you didn't have to be like, you know what I mean? It was like on some shit. Like, so now if I battle and that happens to me, I might just flip. I might just lose it, bro, because I'm not from that fucking friendly haha shit, you know what I mean?
No doubt.
We started touring the world on tours. We were battling everybody after the show in every club, everywhere throughout the world. It was me, Kenny, Honey, Wiggle, and Flowmaster. And then Kenny came up with a great idea, the concept of like the 7 gems from the earth, 7 grandmasters, the whole thing. 5 deadly venoms, and I was like, yo, what's up? I hold a powered, chamber. You got this chamber, I got that chamber. You know what I mean? It was about chambers. And I was like, dope, and we did it, so we helped form that group. And there was only 5 though, it wasn't 7 originally.
Right.
Kenny, Wiggles, Flo, Honey, and myself. Later on, we ended up getting Maurizio down, and I don't know if I think that's about it. I don't know who else we put down after that. But I spoke with Legs today, in Russia for Battle of the Gods. I got a 3-month notice. I was supposed to go with Flo. Me and Flo had been talking, and he didn't feel healthy enough or what have you, but I begged him, I pleaded him, may he rest in peace, but he was supposed to go with it to Russia.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yes, yeah, definitely. I mean, he was an amazing person, but when I landed in Russia, I had been training, I've been on my A game, I lost a lot of weight, my stamina, my groove, this whole age shit doesn't even matter, because if you love this shit, it just comes natural. Of course, you got to diet and be smart about your training, sleep, everything. You know what I mean? It's all body and soul when we get down. And I go to Russia and I land. And the first day when I see Maurizio, I was like, oh, I can't really go against these brothers like that, you know what I mean? Because that's 7 gems. I mean, I respect the craft that, you know, everything that Kenny has paved and laid down the way for everybody in the scene with his groove. Yo, I got inspired. You got inspired. Everybody's like, you know, his whole little witcher ways, his whole little mannerisms, his jerks, his, you know what I mean? His execution, his timing. Everybody like fed off of that. You know what I mean? So you can't hate on that, man. You know what I mean? You gotta give respect if you want respect back.
You gotta honor that.
Yep. And then Mauricio with this aggressive tiger style. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna freaking take all this cipher and then flip it and just I don't care. You know what I mean? And so, but these are my brothers, so I was like, damn, I can't come hard at these dudes like that. You know what I mean? Had they put maybe Storm or Swift Rock or Emilio or Quick Step, anybody else, like, what's up? You know what I mean? It's gonna be on and popping. I mean, it was an honor. Love seeing these guys again, and Caesar too. You know, getting down with him once again.
And it's always good, man. You know, just seeing you always getting down at your age and all that, and being involved within the scene, coming to these events, right? A lot of time, I'm sure the new generation love to see OG be more involved, just to show up, right, and just build. You know what I mean? And be approachable instead of like. I ain't talking to you, you know, or this and that, right? Or you whack this and that. But for you, you're like, you and Honey, it's always approachable, and anybody can talk to you and all that, and you're able to put in, you know, the time instead of like, nah, you gotta pay me just to, you know what I mean? And that's what that's why, you know, I respect you and all that. But
I don't forget where I come from, bro. You know what I mean? That whole. This was an opportunity. You know that B-Boy has saved so many lives. You know what I mean? Yeah, I would have been locked up just like anybody. I would have maybe gone the, you know, that stereotypical, those challenges, you know, those obstacles when you grew up in the hood with nothing. And I'm an immigrant to this country. I was gonna go wash cars or some shit. You know what I mean? Drive a cab or wash dishes or some bullshit. You know what I mean? So this dance saved me. You know what I mean? It saved Kenny. It saved Leg. It saved you. It saved us. We've been global ambassadors of this dance. You know what I mean? And look where it's at now. You know what I mean? I'm not a person that ever. To these new generation B-boys, I would love for them like to sit down and listen, like, yo, groove, listen to that beat, rock it, pop, hit, that, pop, get up with that swag, that attitude. They're missing. They're kind of being a little bit mechanical because I heard that they do sets for the competition stuff, you know. But just like how I don't like people telling me, you know, when I was a kid how to dance or downplay my stuff because it feels like shit, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna do that to anybody else and discourage them to like go bang again or just walk away and the rest of his life this person feels like, you know, a subhuman, you know what I mean? And
I mean you can only educate them, and it's on them to even pick it up or not. That's your part, right? And I feel like sometimes we get caught up on, no, it's got to be that way or not, you're whack, you know, and I feel like that's the wrong approach, you know what I'm saying? We can only give them the knowledge, educate them, and it's on them in their journey, right? Because at this journey, they might not take your advice, but maybe 10 years down the road, or even 5, or even next year, or even the next month, right? They'd be like, yeah, I remember that conversation with Orko. He's telling me like, yo, you know what I'm saying? So you never know. It's all about approach, you know, in this day and age, you know, as you know, the younger generation coming in, they're not on that G shit, you know? Let's be honest, they're not on the street level, you know? And everybody get inspired, and this dance is supposed to, you know, touch everybody, no matter where you're from, right? So from the street kids to the kids that not from the street, you know what I'm saying? So we can't really approach it like on some like, yo, you know, like I feel like it's a new era where our approach got to be different in a way of educational and development, right? When you develop people, it's about, you know, just helping them, like guide them, not you know, pushing them down like, oh, this and that. You know what I'm saying? So there's a different approach. We can get to the same endpoint, right? But the approach got to be different. You know, and I feel like Honey Rockwell, yourself, you know, brothers like, you know, Paul, you know, just always, you know, like Ness wrote a book, you just put it out there. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's got to be on an educational tip. You know, even Legs, you know, he's here. You know, I just saw him upstairs, you know, showing a BGirl, you know, certain things. And that's what it's about, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to wait to take my workshop, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna help you. And that's great that y'all doing it and y'all being involved. So
thank you. I love seeing this. In the 90s, you know, when all these kids used to like come up to the we had a spot in Echo Park, a practice. It's like a, you know, sacred ground for us. That's because that's where the birth of Ronnie Ruin, Frankie Flav. I used to pick up Cujo when he was small. I saw Monk. I saw all these guys. You know what I mean? They were all little kids. Like, Orko, teach me handles. Orko, teach me motions. Orko, this and that. You know, and I see even Crows all the time. Orko battled me in the 90s. You know what I mean? And but I see the influence and even remind. You know what I mean? They were all kids. You know what I mean? I threw a jam in LA and I paid for them all to come down and perform. I threw a jam called Battle Zone. I had DJ Slinky and Scribbles DJ the jam, and also my boy Hayes. 3 DJs. Whip performed a set. I had Style Elements perform a showcase, and that's when I was like introduced everybody to Style Elements then. And seeing all these kids, you know, in their growth, doing movies and tours and things, you know, and I was able to, you know, touch them in a certain way, you know, influence them. It's a beautiful thing, bro. That's what I'm about. This is probably like one of the maybe few interviews that I've ever done. I don't like to talk. Like I said, I'm that old school mentality. Like,
you know,
I gotta see
you rock with Tyquan, you know what I'm saying? So,
yo, I appreciate your positivity. You're educating the people the correct way. You're being raw and real. You're not being corny and like, hey, look at me.
Yeah, I come from the street as much as you know what I'm saying, but I feel like our approach got to be different, you know what I'm saying, and we can tell who's street, then we can approach that street kid a different way, you know, than a kid who just want to learn and maybe just want to have fun, right? Like, I can't approach a kid just want to have fun and, no, you got to be, there's different approaches, you know?
So that's why you don't ever see me on things or speak out, or I'm very limited on Facebook, and I want to take it off, to be honest with you, because I hate when people just take your stuff, well, get inspired, chew it up, flavor of the month, the flavor of that weekend, and that's it. Like, I'm not about that. You know what I mean? Like, that fucking gets on my nerves, bro. So if you see me delete Facebook in the future, it's because we keep it G 100. You know what I mean? Since day one, with brother Ness. I've known Ness since he was like 85 pounds in the Jerry curl. Homeboy used to drip with that Jerry curl. He was raw. Yo, Buck, what's up? You know, Buck is his mentor. Buck taught him with the Turtles, and you know what I mean?
They go way back.
Way back.
Yo, y'all getting some history lesson, man.
You know what I mean?
Shouts to the OG, Orko. It's an honor. You know what I'm saying? Bridge the gap, all assets.
We still here. Yep.
We here. Rebel Peace, one of the Cypher, alright? Yo.